It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
Alright, we're back. We're playing some Ghostface today. This is a bit of an older gameplay, so we are doing a match review for myself. And we're just gonna take a look here and see if maybe I could probably improve in some areas with my Ghostface game. And maybe you, the viewer, maybe you also play Ghostface, you can learn something as well. So from just off of spawn, we go into Ormond and we try to get high ground so we can try to get stalking as early as possible if we can. Just to get some, we don't want to focus too much on it, but also we do the similar strategy that we usually do in RPD, which is stay in the high ground and wait for them to come to the middle gen. And from going in for the middle gen, you can give stock, you can obviously build up and be able to get downs. You try to break down some walls, just trying to just keep within the high ground to give us as much stalking as possible. And as you can see, they're gonna end with Corrupt being active. This is why I constantly recommend to run Corrupt. They can't just immediately rush to gen from spawn. They're gonna have to then move around and go toward where you spawned. So now we can then mark up Nicolas Cage here. He's gonna vault the window. We do get stuck on the wall, massive misplay, but I think he expected me to maybe go for a mind game or something like that. So because of his fumble, we were able to get a pretty early down, and we actually hook him in the corner of the map, which I highly recommend doing on any map. If you can hook them in the back corner of the map, that is huge. Despite being able to put the next to gens you can defend depending on the situation, highly recommend putting them in the corners of the map because those are one of the weakest areas to be in on any map, really. Now, what we're doing here is we're kind of straying a little far away from where the hook is because we're trying to get another down potentially. We do get an M1 on the Fang, and that's because they aren't marked at all. So what I try to do is I'll M1 them if they just don't have any stalking at all. But because I strayed a little bit too far, it does mean that I have to traverse all the way from that corner of the map to the next. On the other hand, it does open up the opportunity to get them to start going into this direction. So that does mean I will be able to intercept the save. And ideally from here, we try to lean off of the rock there. Got some pretty good amount of stock. They ended up knocking out another generator. Completely away from all the action, which is to be expected. They don't really like to do that. Now, we know that they're also going from up top. That's completely fine. But as you can see, because I was able to apply pressure to multiple survivors, we are allowing Nicolas Cage here to be completely pushed into second save for free. Now, of course, survivors as usual will have a perk for literally every single occasion, and you have to kind of be aware of that. Now, we know Reassurance is active, so they're not going to really go for the save just yet, but we were just wasting enough time on Cheryl's part, trying to at least force a pallet out in order to get them to actually want to go for the pallet drop. Now, this one's going to keep camping pallets and whatnot, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure we keep him in his back corner. We want to try to get our Spirit Fury up, you know what I'm saying, ideally. Now, he's going to go for the vault again, more than likely, which I'll honestly just gets him killed anyway. So all that was basically for nothing, but of course, another second chance perk is then active. So, of course, he has off the record, as per usual, right? So we already know that. Fine. We continue to go after him. That's completely fine. There's 2 people injured. Only 1 person can actually body block. Well, not injured per se, but I should say one is marked. Basically 99 or whatever. Now, we know they all have flashlights, so what I decided to do is make sure we have marked the Nia and knocked them down so they can't save. Easy one hit down, and then I know that there might be somebody else lurking in the area. But they are injured and do have a med kit, so they're not actually able to save. So what we try to do is immediately pick up to make sure we get a kill at the 4 gen mark, because ideally by 3 gens you should already have a kill, if not by 2. But ideally, if you get it as early as possible, you're able to then get them out of the game, and then you're going to be able to apply as much pressure as humanly possible. So that is, once again, really good on my part. Now, I had figured that maybe they had gone in for the locker, maybe for head-on or something like that. It seems like they did actually pick them up. I did miss the hit. The other one's clicking behind me, so only 1 person is working on a gen. This pallet is easily mind gameable, which obviously then finesses them to drop the pallet out of fear. And then we figure that we can actually go for yet another down to apply the maximum amount of pressure because we know that the other person is trying to save. So we have our Spirit Fury active with Enduring that gets us, well, it should have gotten us a down, but for some reason they're losing their minds about it, even though the game actively decided to not give me the swing, which was really strange. So I decided, let's go back over to them. We just go for the down. Now, unfortunately, that just has to do with the game. Sometimes they'll just not let you get your swing. which is unfortunate. This one is like really trying their hardest to bait some kind of to bait a chase, and then proceed to just drop the pallet anyway and camp the pallet instead of actually learning how to play. And of course, they just get downed, as we kind of expected. Now, we had attempted to face the wall there, but we actually ended up breaking the pallet, which was good for us. We got an extra down, which is really solid on my part. Once again, we can just face this little bag, or whatever this is, like the luggage, and we're able to, cover our eyes so that we're not immediately blinded. Now, we also decide to walk toward them to try to pressure them, to try to stop healing them, and then we just place them on the hook over here. Solid work, I gotta say, overall. Really good on my part. We're applying pressure when it needs to be done. We're doing very well, especially on a gigantic map. It is very good to kind of apply as much pressure as you can, and using a down survivor definitely will allow you to get them to close in a lot sooner, and keep them within a certain area, which is really good. Now they're injured, so we're using our shroud to hide our light as we go around the loop here. We break the pallet so that they're back in that back corner of the map, so they can't really leave. And of course, as you see, they're going to basically run directly into me, so they basically get down for free. Even if they were to vault, it doesn't really matter. They still end up getting down, so we can just face this corner because you know that they're both saving, so neither person can go for a save. Then we can immediately hook them while they're busy healing. And as you can see, they're not on gens, so this is how you're able to constantly keep them active and constantly keep them trying to save each other by constantly getting downs as quickly as possible. Now, while this is happening, we definitely have to start getting more stock in because there's barely anybody injured and they're going to rush gens. It does not require a lot of effort for a gen to actually be completed. It really doesn't, let's be fair. So with that being said, you're going to have to utilize everything you can in order to intercept that so it doesn't get immediately done. Now, thankfully, they were pre-dropping the pallets, so that gives me the opportunity to lean off of the stones and the boulders, I should say, and all that, and the rocks. Thankfully, once again, Alston's wallet value, we're now getting them to 99% stock. So no matter what they end up doing, which they're going to vault there, that's completely fine. We just go around it, trying to mind game them, and then we break it to keep them on that side, because obviously we just want to get rid of resources, and then we mark them. Because they're in a complete, pretty much a dead zone, Inspire Fury is active. So of course they try to use it, doesn't really matter. We just go ahead and drop them very easily. So then we go ahead and pick them up. They're also both healing, so the chances are they might run to that gen that was progressed on my right side. You actually see one of them person clicking behind me, so that means that there's only one person actually maybe pursuing a gen at this point. Everybody's on got their first hook, which obviously means that it's not the max amount of pressure, but we are still able to constantly get them off of gens and going right for saves. So now, as you can see, they're rushing the gen again. The mistake I made here was actually kicking it, but I figured I had enough time considering the other person has to go for the save while this person over here is being chased, and I was just kind of trying to wait for them to actually close in for a save. Is why I wasn't entirely pursuing them, so I could defend the generator while simultaneously looking at the hook, just making sure they go for the save, so I'm able to actually get that, and we have them pinned in this back corner here. So maybe it wasn't entirely a mistake, it was a part of the strategy, because you can see this person is here using Lithe or whatever to try to make their way over, but because of all that distance they're running, we get them to 99 stock. So once they do save, which of course, once again, reassurance, you know, every survivor has every perk under the sun to help them out. Of course, they're going to go ahead and just use that, you know, so which doesn't really matter because it's still a person on a hook, so it doesn't necessarily mean they can make a lot happen. Now, sure, it does prevent a hook stay that's, you know, somewhat, but it's not like it's really going to matter in the grand scheme of things because of the grand plan here, which is to constantly keep them off of the gens by constantly having them save. So once again, we're on a pretty weak pallet. We're trying to at least get the pallet out of it. For some reason, I just am not getting the lunge on that, but they made a mistake there, which works for me. They're once again healing, as you can see. So we constantly have them in the cycle of unhooking, healing, rinse, repeat, unhooking, healing, rinse, repeat, pretty much the entire time I get into a chase, right? Because we chase them, down them, hook them. They're going to have to unhook, heal, run back to the gen. By the time, and mind you, I've kicked most of these gens, right? So by the time they even come back, all that progress has disappeared. It's literally creating slowdown through actively knocking down every survivor as quickly as possible, and overall just making sure that we have our positioning intact here. Now we know that we did kick that gen. We know it's sparking. That other gen doesn't have progress. And then they obviously go for a save. We start leaning immediately just to see if we can catch the other one that's healthy, which we have them 99, and then we can immediately go after the Cheryl, because remember, now this one's already on death hook now. So we can immediately go after them, and regardless if they want to waste pallets or not, we can pretty much pretty easily get rid of the resources, recharge our power. They're going for a blind, which wastes a lot of their distance, which is great for us. That's what we want, you know what I'm saying? Plus we have hearing, right? We have our headset, so we can hear where they're going. Now they got the dead hard eyes, right? So as you can, yep, there it is. I always call it the dead hard eyes, man. When they like to they look over their shoulder for a while, you know what to do. And that's one of my favorite things to do as Ghostface, I gotta say. So she's out of the game after completely embarrassing herself, and we're still at 3 gens. This gen is also still sparking from earlier, so our gen kick from earlier was a solid strategy. Now remember, you don't just kick for no reason. Like, you gotta kick, especially if you don't even have like pop or anything. You want to kick it and defend it in that sense, right? So as you can see here, like, we kick it when we know that they're not going to be within the area for a while, right? So say if I down somebody and I'll kick the gen, I'll probably place them somewhere away from the gen. By the time they even come back to the gen, it'll regress quite a bit, allowing me to get slowed down. Now, I had figured they would be hiding in a locker because they were on the gen very close to me. They didn't actually end up revealing me, so that actually gives me the opportunity to just get the free down. Which, of course, they're going to try to be petty and then get grabbed out of lockers and stuff like that to prevent you from getting your mark down. Which pretty much doesn't really matter, per se, because you're still getting your hook, you're still getting your kill. It just may affect your, I guess, your mark down count or something like that, if that really matters to you. Now, they did end up getting another gen done, but Deadlock is blocking the gen, whichever one it is, which I believe it's actually the one that is next to where I was. So all that's left is really trying to get the other survivor, which is the Feng here. Now, one thing that is like a bit of a miscellaneous tip that I do see a lot of Ghostface players do, and is they like to crouch around the map for some reason, thinking that's gonna like make you like stealthier or whatever. I don't really believe in that. Obviously, you know, if you're familiar with the channel, you know how I play Ghostface. I play him very aggressively, despite the naysayers saying that, oh, he's a stealth killer, you shouldn't do that or whatever have you. Just understand that I've been playing this character for a very long time, and it fits my playstyle perfectly, I would say, alongside with other killers, you know what I'm saying, like Freddy or whatever, that you may have seen on the channel. But one main tip I will give you is just don't crouch around the map for, like, unless you're trying to get closer to, for a mark down, because obviously you're moving slower. Obviously behavior gives them the hatch. And we do have one more gameplay for you guys, so we can review it and see what I could have done differently, which I think I did quite well. And that's the builds, and let's get into the next one. So jumping right into yet another match review for myself, we are on Ironworks of Misery, which within the name you can kind of see where the pain lies. Now, you notice that I passed by that wall there. I try not to break it. And you may notice in some of my gameplays, if you really have a keen eye, I don't tend to break certain walls. And the reason for that is that because we're already an M1 killer, this is something you may see happen with some players. They're smart enough to at least try to blind you while you go for the mark, which is completely fine. We already got them at 80%. We can just jump right into the next chase, get a free hit there. They're gonna try to go for some kind of tech. I don't know why they think they're going against some kind of like Looney Tunes character or something, that I'm gonna fall for that, but that's not how that works. So we get the Vault. Obviously they're gonna end up going, we should be able to get the hit here, but probably not. Yeah, we don't for some reason. I thought that was a bit confusing. They start celebrating for some reason, but the thing I never understood is how I didn't get the swing. I don't know if it's because of the distance or something. I don't know what happened there. But they try to jump into the locker and go for some kind of... now, mind you, this is very important. When you see them jump out the locker and like slowly come out, is so they can try to bait you to grab, because you cannot be blinded if you go for a regular pulling out of the locker animation. But if you get the yank out like that, then they can blind you, so you do not want to let them do that. Now, I know Steve was marked. They also have Breakout you're going to see as well. The Steve was marked, but I figured that, you know, remember, we gotta keep in mind that For the People is still a combo in this game. So I had to just sacrifice it, the marking, just so that I'm able to actually get the down in the first place. And then, as you can see, they're all going for body blocks and whatnot. As you can see, they're trying to bully my Ghostface. So we're at least getting a hook here. We faced a rock. This is exactly what we want to do. We see the other one closing in, so there's more than likely at breakout because the wiggle was a little bit too fast for it to just be regular wiggle speed. Like, that was insane. They're going for blinds. You're trying to get in your way or whatever have you. You know, that kind of thing. We try to go for the lunge and get it there, which is a little bit strange. But we at least try to, you know, bait the pallet out. We get Spirit Fury charged up, and then we immediately start to stalk the Jill, so we get as much as we can. Of course, the other ones say, "Oh, I'm gonna take him out of power." It doesn't matter. We got her stocked up as much as we need. So that's where Philly kicks in, especially when you're leaning and Philly. It's over. You got the fastest amount of stock that you could possibly get in the game. Very important to do that. You always have to like lean if you can. If you can't, doesn't matter. But you definitely want to have Philly for that, especially if you lean. You get the most rapid amount of stock. Now, as you can see, they're trying to lead me away from the hook. I try to pretend that I'm chasing Rebecca to go right back over to the hook here. We're then going to go ahead and mark Jill, which we just get the quick down on, and we just go with that. Now, the only thing with that is that I could have gotten more pressure if I had just left them 99, and then if I just went over to get Rebecca, I would think. But but at the time of I was playing the game, I figured we can at least stalk, like have Jill on the hook so that there's everybody who is active is injured. So in a way, it made sense. Now, obviously, this gen is progressed quite a bit. We're just trying to take a look around. Of course, you see the Steve get on another gen. Of course, getting it done, it really doesn't require that much skill or, I mean, and the numerous amount of perks that increase its speed already isn't really much of a surprise. But what we can do is at least get 2 people on the hook at the same time, which will then split up the team because, as you could probably guess, the Nancy had to go heal. The Rebecca's still injured. And then we start leaning off to try to get Nancy stocked up as much as possible so that we're able to have them, in case they body block. We want to get them injured, get them basically exposed so they can't really go for anything. We let them reveal pretty much. We just wanted to get them just 99 enough so that it would be a really fast amount of stock. And then we just go after Jill because she was the one that got unhooked. A lot of people already have hooks, about 3 of them. I would believe so. We have Spirit Fury active. They try to use the pallet, which is exactly why I run this build. She tries to go for a spin, doesn't work. And then because everyone's over there going to go heal or save, we can then hook them over here across the map away from the generators, which can pull them away and hopefully give me time to go ahead and defend those. We're wasting time healing, which means that we got another one on second state. And then from here, we had to defend the objective. Now, this is one of the better plays that I will have to utilize, because we are in a situation where we're at 3 gens and nobody's dead yet. We need to get somebody eliminated as soon as possible. By 3 gens. Some people say by 2, but I go by 3 gens. There needs to be somebody gone. Like so, which I should have probably done that with a different survivor, but unfortunately, because of second chance perks, blah, blah, yada, 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 like you already saw at the beginning of the game, we were just kind of left into this position where we have to use what we have. Now, we are getting revealed because, of course, they're going to do that. They're going to cancel out your power, but we don't necessarily need our power at this very moment. Now, Rebecca is about halfway stocked, but we just do not have her power charge, and she's trying to actually go to pressure the hook. So we go ahead and cancel the first grab that she does, so it guarantees our down, and then we immediately go after the Jill to eliminate them from the game because we have to. Now, as you're going to see here, we're going around. They're going to go up top. This is one of the most, I wouldn't say it's a strong rotation, but it's still a very annoying one because you're going to have to either break that wall, which I advise not. I just didn't want to even go for it because if I broke that wall, I would have lost a ton more distance, and I would have just been better to continue to follow them. Now, as you notice, because I didn't break that wall from earlier, now we get this down that we're getting right now because of the fact that we locked off that option from them being able to rotate right back up the stairs. They most likely could have gotten a second or even third rotation, wasting even more of your own time if you had broken the wall. It's very important that you leave that closed because it cuts off that option that they have, and that's what you want to do, especially with an M1 killer. Now, we did go for the lunge there. I had figured maybe I would have gotten it, but fast vaults are fast vaults, so they're just going to speed up their animations so that they can't actually get the hit in. Now, we noticed that the deadlock is blocking the gen here. I did go for the M1, but I couldn't really see any other survivors around. Now, the problem is that you're going to notice that I go for the survivor for way too long. I'm wasting a ton of time. I was confident in my abilities, but unfortunately, because of just gen progression and just how easy it is to get a gen done, because it really does not require any skill or any effort. And as you can see, I fumble here. Of course, they go for the dead hard. That's something I try to make sure you guys are aware of, that if they're going to do that, they try to click and, oh, yeah, follow me, like do all this bullshit and abuse all their second chances. What we try to do here is we try to like activate our shroud to see where the if anyone else is hiding, which we notice that they're actually behind me as well as of in front of me. Now he would have fumbled here, but I mean that's just the map spawning 2 pallets side by side, so he's completely safe. Which we try to go for the Steve because we know that he at least should be on second state if we go for the down. Now unfortunately, I'm just committing too much to the chase here. We know about 2 gens that have a lot of progress. I was trying to lean into the pressure here, but I realized that after that deep wound attack, I probably should have just honestly just went back over and just tried to find one of the injured people or the Nancy. Now they're trying their hardest to make everything work in their favor, but it won't. You know what I'm saying? Because we're still skilled and better than them, so it's easy for us to get the down here. You know what I'm saying? Now they're on second state. We make our way back over to. Oh, well, we're trying to make our way over. They immediately go for the save, so we then go try to get Nancy, but he's going to body block. This one drops a stun grenade for no reason. We just try to go for Steve, and we also mark them so they can't really body block, which is a bit of a misplay, I would say. But I figured Nancy barely had any hooks, while the Steve is the closest to getting eliminated. This gen is 99%, and we're going to have to kick it anyway. So what we're trying to do is, because we know that the gen has a ton of progress and they're down to 1, they think they're going to win this. Here's our opportunity to once again try to bait them to close in, because you know they're super cocky. They want to try to get in there. Oh, I'm gonna do the gen. No, you're not. Right? You're gonna see he's trying to check spot. We're just trying to get the chase leg thing on the HUD, so they think that we're in chase, to try to get them to close in for the generator. But we have to basically stand here in order to get this gen to drop down enough, because we are down to 1 gen because of the fumble that I had made earlier. Now keep in mind that if you know a survivor has dead hard, you just gotta wait it out and use whatever you can, right? Depending on the killer, you can kind of use like an animation, which I could have sworn I should have gotten the swing there. I'm even looking at it now, I'm a bit confused. I don't know how I didn't get that. That's a little weird. It's possible they could have made for this as well, because they're moving pretty fast and hugging the wall really tight as well. But thankfully we have Spirit Fury enduring here. They're trying their hardest to try to go right back in the window. You're not doing that, of course. So then we get this goofball out the game. As you can see, look at that. It's background player and most likely with breakout as well, because there's no way that they're moving that quickly, you know. So we were able to just immediately take them out the game. They fail at body blocking as per usual. We get the free M1. They're trying to go for some nonsense. We just immediately down them as well. And we're able to at least get this game back to our side. We can also go ahead and give this a kickaroo. And just in case, for some reason, there's another perk that just comes in to save them. So that's why we want to at least let the gen regress. We're going to make sure we face the rock just in case, because you never know. There's always a perk. There's always something. So you got to keep that in mind. You never know. So then we go put them on the hook for second state. Now we know that the Rebecca's the only one that can actually go for anything, and we actually have control of the generator. Now you can even see by the gen spread, we still like are even in a bad spot if they get saved or whatever have you. Because even then, we have to keep track of at least 1 more person to eliminate them from the equation, because our gen spread is insanely ridiculous. They do quit, of course, because you know that's how it goes. they tend to get mad. As you can see here, yet another gen already progressed like crazy. Like this is the main point I'm trying to say here. Because gens are so unbelievably easy to do and so unbelievably easy to progress, like with many different perks and items, it really doesn't matter, right? But with that being said, you have to play super on point when you play killer, and that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, that's how the game is designed. We just can't really do much about it. And then, as you can see here, we are utilizing yet another strategy you may be familiar with. Which we're just kind of staying here. We realized, you know, at least at this point, I realized, like, yeah, I should take my 4K. Like, this I've worked hard for this, you know. So we go ahead and see them where they are. That's one thing I use with my stock. Let's highlight them, you know, with with the white there, we marked them. Now keep in mind that they're marked for 60 seconds, so we pretty much win this, right? I mean, what can they really do in a full minute, right? So keep in mind, there's probably a pallet spawn in here because there always is. This is because the maps are never really survivors are never really in danger no matter where they are. So as you're gonna see, they start just kind of giving up, which is honestly just wonderful. So I made sure we tell them a big no, give them the bags because they deserve it. They really thought they were gonna win that, abusing all the BS that they were trying to abuse. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the survivors do, man. It's really interesting to me. I mean, I find it crazy because a lot of the time the only reason they can get a one up on you is because of an exploit or some kind of glitch, or oh, I found a locker like that I can stand inside and not get killed, or I can phase through you with a key. I'm like, come on, man. Like, come on, man. But either way, we were able to get the pickup here, and we're gonna try to go ahead and put them on the hook, and we can end the video. So I'd like to thank you for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the Ghostface content or the killer match review content. Definitely leave a like, comment, and subscribe to all the YouTube things for me. Hopefully the advice is giving you, and tips and tricks, is giving you some solid value so you can become a better killer player, and so can I by me reviewing my games. We also have memberships available, so feel free to become a member for exclusive content. It's only for the members, those wonderful people. And with that being said, hopefully I'll see you in the next one, and I'll also leave the builds in the gameplay so you guys can take a little look at that as well. So you kind of see what we're going up against. That being said, thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one.